Hello, viewers. Welcome to my channel, An Easy Step to English Grammar. And today's topic of discussion is The Passing Away of Bapu by Nayanthara Sehgal. But I am not going to deal with the content and the Bengali meaning or any other explanation. I am going to discuss with you the textual grammar. The textual grammar, Unit 1, Lesson 3, The Passing Away of Bapu by Nayanthara Sehgal. Please refer to Unit 1, Lesson 3. My first item is, please you may write down in your exercise book, Gandhi had been shot on his way to a prayer meeting. Gandhi was shot on his way to a prayer meeting. And you have been asked to turn the sentence into a complex sentence. Then what will you do? Gandhi had been shot on his way when he was going to a prayer meeting. When he was going to a prayer meeting. So let me analyze the sentence. Please try to understand. Gandhi had been shot on his way. It is principal clause. When he was going to a prayer meeting, subordinate adverb clause of time, and modifying the verb had been shot. Had been shot in clause number 1. Follow it. Number 2, out of every window one could see a brown blur of faces. Out of every window one could see a brown blur of faces. It is in the active voice, and please turn it into a passive voice. And you can easily understand that it is a modal passive because could is a modal. So you will have to write, out of every window a brown blur of faces could be seen. Could be seen. And omit one. You should not use one. I am repeating the sentence. Out of every window a brown blur of faces could be seen. S-E-E-N. Okay. Now item number 3. These are the most important grammatical items. And if my video comes to your benefit, I shall be highly enthused to give you more and more grammatical items from your textbook. And I fervently hope that all of you will subscribe my channel, An Easy Step to English Grammar. Number 3, item number 3. They did not make a sound. They did not make a sound. Affirmative sentence. Turn into an affirmative sentence because it is in the negative form. Then what will you do? They did not make a sound. They remained soundless, or they remained silent. They remained soundless, or they remained silent. So, it is an example of affirmative sentence. And when you are asked to turn from negative to affirmative, try to use the opposite word of the finite verb of the negative sentence. However, question number 4, there was an unnatural silence. And you have been asked to turn it into complex sentence. Unnatural silence, complex sentence, then you must use the adjective clause or a relative clause and make silence an antecedent. There was a silence which was unnatural. So there was a silence, it is principal clause. Which was unnatural, it is subordinate adjective clause or relative clause, and qualifying the noun silence. Now, question number 5. The people were too stunned, too stunned to speak in the beginning. It is actually negative in the infinitive form, or the infinitive form in the negative sense. And in your exam, not only in your Madhyamik exam, but also in all sorts of exam, you will be asked to turn it either in complex sentence or in a negative sentence. Whatever may be the fact, the answer will be the same. For example, the people were so stunned that they could not speak in the beginning. So, the people were so stunned, it is principal clause, that they could not speak in the beginning, it is adverb clause of result. And modifying the adjective stunned. Remember it. Question number 6. They calmed a little. Here calmed, CALMED. That means they were pacified. They calmed a little when it was announced that they would be allowed to see Gandhiji before the funeral. It is a long drawn sentence, and you will be asked to split the sentence into simple sentences. Again, I am repeating the sentence. You will follow in Unit 1, Lesson 3. They calmed a little when it was announced that they would be allowed to see Gandhiji before the funeral. Then, how will you split the sentence? For example, and you know the rules of splitting, that every sentence or each sentence should be or must be the simple sentence having only one finite verb. For example, they would be allowed, question number 1, that is the sentence number 1, they would be allowed to see Gandhiji before the funeral. It would be the first sentence. They would be allowed to see Gandhiji before the funeral. number one. And number two, it was announced. It was announced. Second sentence. And third sentence is, then they calmed a little. Then they calmed a little. Again, I am repeating very quickly. They would be allowed to see Gandhiji before the funeral. It was announced. Then they calmed a little. There are three simple sentences. Question number 7. They looked like lost children. They looked like lost children. Turn into a complex sentence. It is a simple sentence because there is only one finite verb, that is looked. Then what will be the complex sentence? They looked as if they were lost children. They looked as if they were lost children. Now let us analyze the sentence. They looked, participle clause, as if they were lost children. It is adverb clause of comparison. Adverb clause of comparison and modifying the verb looked. Modifying the verb looked. Now it is my last item, that is question number 8. We listened to the broadcast telling the people of India that their Bapu was no more. I am repeating the sentence. You may follow. We listened to the broadcast telling the people of India that their Bapu was no more. Split into simple sentences. Now let us split the sentence into simple sentences. Number 1, their Bapu was no more. Their Bapu was no more. It is the first sentence. It was broadcast telling the people. It was broadcast telling the people. Now, last sentence is, we listened to it. We listened to it. Again, I am repeating. Their Bapu was no more. It was broadcast telling the people, or it was broadcast to the people. And the last sentence is, we listened to it. So there are 8 grammatical items I have picked up from lesson 3, unit number 1, and I have discussed with you. These are the most important grammatical items. And I think that you will leave no stone unturned to follow my analytical grammar or grammatical analysis from unit 1 to prepare yourself for Madhyamik examination. And I firmly believe that you will be competent enough to score high, and I shall appear before you again and again with many other grammatical items and textual grammars, etc., and also writing skills. Thanking all of you. Goodbye. Please subscribe my channel.